Strike!
Take the next right onto George Hollis Drive Northwest, then you will arrive at your destination. You have arrived.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Robert Rivera with Who's On First, the show, and we are here in Canton, Ohio. And as you can see here, you see a football helmet. And I know what you're saying, Rob, this has nothing to do with baseball. You're right. We always look for those people who strive to be better, the guys that keep swinging, and if you can't swing a baseball bat, maybe you can run fast and catch a ball. Let's go on in, let's take a look. Here's the class of 2023.
It's holographic. It's one of the best things in the building. And when you're done, you'll come down this side of the building to our lower level. There's more displays. And the last stop will be our store. Always. It's perfect.
Here it is. This is what every NFL player wants to hold. The Lombardi Trophy. Jim Brown, Walter Payton, Sweetness. Who we got? Emmett Smith.
Hey, I'll give you $1, you tell me what you're about to run. I'll give you $1, you tell me what you're about to run. Come on, man, $1, I got you. I'm a rookie, man, I got money like that.
Them boys are hitting it. This is the XFL. Yeah, XFL. Flag football. Look at this. Oh, Miss Diane Flores.
Love how the NFL is incorporating youth females.
I'm all for girls being a part of whatever sport that they desire to be able to have that kind of open to more of the world.
Oh, this is a pretty cool. It's a fan hall of fame. Here they celebrate the fans. Look at that. Rescue Rob, Roger Avila, Amy Nolan, Michael Banks. Who's this straight hand? Abducted. You go Giants, baby. Sanders. That's Evel Knievel's motorcycle. Knievel motorcycle.
Knievel custom cycle.
Yeah, that's Bill Kelly. That's Evel Knievel right there. Oh no, that's his son. I think that's Robbie Knievel. Yeah, that's Robbie Knievel. Oh, look at that. Autographed. Evel Knievel. There's Evel. Oh, that's pretty. Richard Dent. Chicago Bears. The Bears. Now, we talk about baseball cards, but look at this, football cards. Woo, buddy. That's pretty. Here's the hall. We're gonna enter from the beginning. So it started here in 1963, 64, so on and so forth. There's an important one right there, Vince Lombardi. The Buckies. Deacon Jones. Mike Singletary. LT, baby. One of my favorites, LT. Lynn Swan. Dan Marino. Michael Irvin. One of my favorite sayings from Michael Irvin. Sharpen your skill and deepen your will. Oops, sorry. Thurman Thomas, Marshall Faulk, prime time, baby. Bill Parcells, got Warren Sapp, Jim Rice. There you go. John Madden. Anybody like playing John Madden? There he is. That's the man. Troy Aikman, Warren Moon, John Elway, Barry Sanders, and Emmett Smith. 2015, we're at 2015 here. Jerome Bettis. Junior Seau. Rest in peace, brother. Brett Favre. Terrell Davis. Jason Taylor. Anybody like Invicta watches? He's designing them though.
There's only one player in both football and baseball Hall of Fame. After he retired from football, he became an umpire in baseball and made their Hall of Fame. He's in the first class.
Sorry, excuse me.
See his name on Cal Hubbard.
Can you repeat that?
He's the only person that's in football and baseball Hall of Fame. After he retired his football career, he became an umpire in baseball and got inducted into their Hall of Fame.
Wow, Kyle Hubbard, never heard. You learn something every year. There's Troy Aikman's hand, let me see. He has some pretty big hands. Got Warren Moon's hand. Got Jim Kelly's hand. Whoa. That's big boy. Jim
halfback river. Left flex, Mike is short. We get home, halfback river. Regular. I got green left, halfback right, bump, 2 rocket watches, next shape. Green left, halfback right, bump, 2 rocket watches, next shape.
Got it. Some big, strong guys. Okay. We got some subtitles on the bottom there.
By contact, it's the forward paces and the number of players on the field at the snap. All replay reviews are conducted by the Senior Vice President of Officiating or his or her designee in consultation with the replay official and referee, who will have access to a field-level video monitor. An on-field ruling will be changed only when the Senior Vice President of Officiating or his or her designee determines that clear and obvious visual evidence warrants a change.
You're good. Confirmed. New York confirms.
A decision must be made within 60 seconds from when video is shared with the referee.
So that's the instant replay booth. That's how that works. That's pretty cool. Let's keep going.
It's his leg. Bro, what? That's his leg? Look at his leg. How's his leg that long? Look how his leg is long. He's only 6'2".
This is the first Super Bowl ring fitted for Willie Davis of the Packers, Walter Payton's '85 Bears,
Wow.
and Dan Rooney's 2008 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow, that's a small one. Alrighty. Can I try one?
Sure
Let me see. I should be happy I've been a Steeler. But yeah, talk about a pinky ring, huh?
It's an owner's ring, that's why it's a little smaller.
High school honor. We got the Packers, we got the Jets, Kansas City, Baltimore Colts, Dallas Cowboys, Miami Dolphins, Steelers, Raiders, Cowboys, Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers, Oakland Raiders, San Francisco, Washington Redskins, Los Angeles, Raiders, San Francisco. Sorry for the glare. Chicago Bears. Where am I at? Chicago Bears. New York Giants. Washington Redskins. San Francisco. New York Giants. Redskins. Cowboys. No, Cowboys. San Francisco. Cowboys. Packers, Broncos, St. Louis Rams, Baltimore Ravens, New England Patriots, Tampa Bay Bucks, New England Patriots, Pittsburgh Pirates, Pittsburgh Steelers, Indianapolis Colts, New York Giants, Pittsburgh Steelers, New Orleans Saints, Green Bay Packers, New York Giants, Baltimore Ravens, the Seattle Sea Chickens, the Seahawks. Sea Chickens. New England Patriots. I haven't heard that for a while. Denver Broncos, the New England Patriots, Philadelphia Eagles, Patriots, the Chiefs, Tampa Bay Bucks, the Rams, 5-time champion, Charles Haley. All right, we're down on the first floor. Molly. stairs. Warren Sapp. Hey, look at these cleats. There's a spike. That's interesting. Class of 1968. A little bit of an evolution. There's the officials. There's the official signals. USFL. Do it again, do it again. Ooh. 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 Miss Molly, ooh. Oh, there's a playbook. At the Black College Hall of Fame. Football Hall of Fame.
And his jaw dropped because he said, I didn't know this guy played in a black college. You know, people don't know this. People are not really thinking about where these guys went to school. They're thinking about, you know, the white colleges.
Here's something unusual. Is that a bat? No. It's an Olympic torch. Jim Thorpe. Very well respected. The evolution of the football helmet. Wow, interesting.
Well, let's get started with a history of head protection.
Well, actually, when they started playing in the late 1800s, they really didn't have a head protection. But what they did do is they grew their hair long, figuring that would give them a little bit of padding. Some of us wouldn't have been so lucky to have that. Anyhow, but the problem with that, it led to hair pulling. And it wasn't illegal to pull the hair back then. It's not illegal to pull the hair today. So in order to get around that, what they would do is wad their hair up and put something like this on. So I guess you could say, other than the hair itself, a plain old stocking cap was probably one of the first forms of head protection that they used.
In 1892, Arthur Cumnock and John Morrell patented, manufactured, and sold this. It's called a Morrell nose mask, and they sold it for $2.50.
Oh.
The originals are made of a very hard molded rubber. This is a soft replica. You can see by the strap it went around the player's head. He also had to clench down on it with his teeth.
Oh, wow.
They may have caused more injuries than they prevented. One of the reasons is because the players would take it off during their game and hit their opponent with it.
Oh.
It fell out of favor around 1910, but you can see a lot of the old photos. They got the hang around their neck.
Then around 1894, a guy named George Barkley at Lafayette College, he went to a harness maker and wanted to know if he could make him some kind of a head protection. And this is basically what he came up with. We'll pass it around, you can get a closer look at it. And here's a little closer look of that particular helmet right. These strips, they were just strips of leather sewn together. But then a couple years later, in 1896, it kind of evolved into this here. It's called the head harness. And this head harness is made up of strips of leather also, front, back, and top. And then a little later on, these ear flaps evolved. And then this doohickey on the back, I'm not sure what that was before, but it's there. And the inside was like a lamb's wool or a felt. And it had some holes in it. It supposedly made it a little cooler. It's, matter of fact, Spalding began mass producing these in 1899, and they charged $4 a piece for them. Well, $4 in 1899 was a lot of money. So I guess it's better than stuff.
This was a popular helmet in the 1920s. Red Grange wore this style of helmet. It's called a Zupke helmet. It's named after the gentleman that created the suspension system. His name was Bob Zupke. Bob was a Hall of Fame college coach from Illinois. He coached Red Grange and George Halas. They both played for him in Illinois. So that suspension's safer, more comfortable, keeps your head inside your head off top of the helmet. It's a soft leather. It's also in this era that they had Adam's apple straps. It wasn't until 1940 that Riddell came up with a chin strap. So you can imagine what would happen back in this era if you had your helmet strapped on and somebody yanked it off from the back.
Then in the 1930s, they came up with something called a fiber shell. It's kind of like a pegboard you have in your basement or your garage. And then the bottom was a harder leather. And inside, you can see that also had the Zupke suspension in it. And it was this type of helmet here that they first attempted to put a face mask. But you can imagine if you're screwing something in the leather, how long that's going to last. So, you know, it got loosened up very easy. So the face mask wasn't too successful in this particular helmet. But it was also this type of helmet that the first NFL logo appeared. A guy named Fred Gehry from the Los Angeles Rams, who was a halfback for him. And while he was at the University of Utah, he was an art major. So he hand-painted the Ram symbol on each one of the particular helmets, and they paid him $1 a piece to do that. And then he also touched them up after the games. Not sure whether they paid him for that or not. But it's getting a little bit better.
The first plastic helmet was made by Riddell. The first time it was used was in Chicago's Soldier Field. There was a game played there every year. This game was played from 1934 through 1976. A team of college all-stars would play the NFL champion from the prior year. Some of you might remember that game. So Riddell gave the new plastic helmet to some of the college players in this game. But World War II is breaking out, and everything's being rationed because of the war, including plastic. So they had to stop making plastic helmets until World War II ended. When they resumed making the helmets, they were brittle. One season, a player for the Rams cracked 9 helmets himself. So the NFL banned the use of plastic helmets, and they were not reapproved until 1949. When they went to the plastic, they did away with a Zupke suspension. They went to this adjustable canvas and leather. Same type of suspension used in a lot of our military helmets up into the 2000s. Now this is a replica of a helmet the Rams only wore 1 year, 1949. Notice the horn and the notches in it. I think it was an attempt to make it look more like more realistic, like a ram. The following year they went back to the smooth horn, and they've been smooth ever since. This is called an RK4. Came out in 1954, made by Riddell. This is a replica of a helmet quarterback Y.A. Tittle wore that season. How many of you remember Y.A. Tittle? Quite a few of you, okay. He suffered a broken jaw. So the team's equipment manager, thinking he's going to help protect his quarterback, puts a lucite face mask on his helmet and a bracket over the broken jaw. But Y.A. said both of these were a problem because defenders were using these as handles to tackle him. It was not illegal to grab the face mask in 1954.
Oh, wow.
There was a face mask rule in 1956, the very first one. But that rule said you're only allowed to grab one player's face mask. The ball carrier. It wasn't until 1961, 1962 that they made it a penalty to grab anyone's face mask. Now this is made out of lucite. This is something they wore in the early 1950s. Players didn't like it. First off, when you look through this concave, it distorts your images. Yeah. And when a player would spit, it stuck on here. But the serious issue was this thing shattered in very cold weather. So in 1957, the NFL banned the use of lucite face masks.
Then in the 1970s, Riddell came up with this HA9192, they call it. It kind of looks more like the helmet you're used to seeing. A couple features on this particular helmet here. Here's this, the full face mask start to be more prevalent now. As you can see, this was made out of carbon steel. The inside's a lot different than the other ones you've seen. These are little cells, they're called microfits, and these microfits were either filled with water, air, or they were solid foam. Now filling them with water could be a problem in a climate like Minnesota for obvious reasons. So the way to solve that, they put antifreeze in there, which was a great idea, except if one of the cells broke. I'm not sure how that would feel. But also, getting back to this particular face mask, even though it was very effective against fists and elbows, it did start causing problems. Guys now thought they were invincible. So they're going to launch themselves head first at guys when they're making tackles and so forth. And as a result, more neck and head injuries were occurring. So they had to really focus more on their tackling techniques when wearing this particular helmet. They couldn't just plow into guys head first because it could cause some problems.
Riddell discovered a lot of injuries were being caused by blows to the front and side. So they extended the protection of the jaw area. They went to a 4-point chin strap to help keep the helmet on. Now helmets in this era, and even a few of them today, you can buy them that have optional face frame padding that's inflatable, neck frame padding that's inflatable, and some of them had a bladder that ran the length of the helmet. And they would pump that thing up till it came 1 inch above your eyebrow. It was also in this helmet where they first introduced their Insight technologies. You can find electronics package. They put sensors in the helmet. Those sensors monitor the severity, the direction, number of hits to the head. And after the game, that information will be downloaded to a database. When I pass it around, I want you to feel this raised logo with your finger right below the NFL sign. The acronym for this organization is NOCSE. It's a national organization that sets standards for athletic equipment manufacturing and selling. Manufacturing and testing, I'm sorry. So at the end of every season, every helmet that's used in the league is sent to one of these licensed manufacturers, typically the manufacturer, and they examine it, refurbish it, or reject it.
Okay, you probably haven't seen this one too often. You won't see it on the field. This is for practice purposes. This is called the Guardian, and they wear these in high school, college, and now they're in the pros. Matter of fact, it's very dense foam, very shiny material, and it just sits right on top of the helmet and snaps to the face mask. And they come in different colors, but this particular one here is just an extra layer of protection. Now the NFL required all offensive and defensive linemen to wear these last year for the first 2 weeks of the exhibition season to see if they made any difference. Well, as a result, after collecting the data, they found out that there was 52% less head injuries and neck injuries as a result of wearing these. So now this year they had to wear them for the entire exhibition season, and they included more than the offensive and defensive linemen that had to wear these. So they do come in handy. It costs like $59. If you want to buy one and wear it around the neighborhood, it's they come in different colors. Then in 2014, that came up with what's called the Speed Flex. Now this here is very distinguishable. If you've ever looked at watched much football, you'll notice this cantilever in the front. This is cut out, and basically that's the energy is absorbed there if you hit there, rather than dissipated throughout the entire helmet. Another feature of this particular helmet is it's not attached at the forehead up here. You'll notice all the other face masks are attached up here, but this one's not. And the reason for that is so you can get it off a lot quicker. What they do is here they have like little pins. They just poke them in there, twist it, and then they'll pop up. The face mask will come off. And that's important, especially if you have a neck or a head injury. It's a lot easier to take the helmet off without the face mask on. You can pull it apart a little bit easier, and it's easier to deal with the head and neck injuries. Also, this particular helmet has a ratcheting chin strap, unlike the ones that snap on and off. I think that was an option at the time. Inside, again, fully customizable to get the perfect fit. And this particular one also had a technology package. Like Stan mentioned, the other helmet had one, but the difference with this one is in real time. Guys could be on the computer on the sidelines or in the booth and say, Frank just got hit pretty good, or Sam got hit in the head pretty good, and you better check him out. That's Sam up there. I like the regular Sam. So he might say, Sam got hit in the head pretty good, you better check him out before he goes back into the game. So that's the technology package that's available. But they, unfortunately, the players turn it down. They don't want to use that because they don't want to have to come out of the game. So the players' union, they don't have the technology package in those, even though it's available. Matter of fact, this particular helmet, if you're a Denver Bronco fan, was the practice helmet of a former Denver Bronco, number 58. Anybody know who that was? Former Bronco, number 58? Von Miller. Yeah, this was Von Miller's practice helmet, by the way.
Do you know how much these weigh?
Somewhere 4 to 5, 3.5 to 4 or 5 pounds, something like that.
Yeah,
we have a list with it all.
Yeah, it really depends on the configuration. Your skilled players like to get away as light as they can, so they select the lighter helmets and the smaller face mask. The linemen, they don't care. This is called a Vicesira 1. This company was started in 2017 in Seattle, Washington by a neurosurgeon and an engineer. When this helmet first came out, it was $1,000, which was a lot more than any of its competitors. Now, most of your good helmets are up in the $7,000 to $1,000 range. But anyway, this helmet has 4 layers of protection. Your outer layer is like a modern car bumper, so this will flex. And under that, there's an array of pillars. You can feel those pillars with your fingers, and those pillars also bend and collapse. The 3rd layer of protection is called the arch. It's hard plastic. And finally, you have the padding. The padding comes in different thicknesses, different widths, so you can snap it in and out and get that perfect fit. This had 212 degrees of vision, widest of any helmet on the market. Weiss's salesman came here to tell all the docents about the helmets, and he was bouncing it off the ground like a basketball. So that's one thing this helmet do that the other ones won't. But our curator does not like us bouncing helmets off the ground, so I won't do it. Every year, the NFL and the NFL Player Association, they conduct helmet testing. And based on those results, the NFL players can choose their helmet. If it gets down into red, the NFL player cannot wear that helmet anymore. The ones at the top are the highest rated helmets.
This is an interesting helmet. This is made by Schutt. It's an F7 BTD. It was made in 2018. And it's a lot different than the other ones you've seen. It's got little plates on it. They're called tectonic plates. They slide left and right, up and down, depending upon how you're hit. It's made out of thermourethane plastic, for all you chemists out there, if that means anything. And then the face mask itself, that's titanium. It's a lot lighter than the other helmet from the Vikings helmet, at least. And then again, the inside's a little bit different, very customizable, and make it perfect fit. But this is an interesting helmet. When it came out, it was the safest helmet on the market, they were saying. You know, buy this one, it's the safest one. Now you can't even wear it. It's on the bottom of the list. If you look at that thing, it says F7 BTD, it's in the red. That's how fast technology changes. From 2018 till now. We're not sure why they banned this particular helmet, but they did.
It's called the Axiom. Came out in 2022, made by Rodelli. It's the latest version of the Speedflex. Where Von Miller's helmet only has a cantilever on the front, this has a cantilever on all four sides to feel with your fingers. This also comes standard with a face shield. The face mask only comes halfway up. All the manufacturers and all the models offer multiple face mask designs. So there's not one face mask that fits all. This also comes standard with 3D imaging. So if your team buys this helmet, the salesman will take a picture of every player's head. They put a little cap on it, take the picture, send it back to the manufacturer, and they'll custom design that helmet just to fit that player's head.
Here's another one that came out in 2022. It's called the Visus 02 Trench. Now now they're starting to make helmets that are position-specific helmets, and this was specifically made for the lineman. Thus the term trench. You know, they're down there near trenches all the time. And if you look at it from the side, it's kind of different. It's almost flat. So when you get hit there, you know, the energy kind of absorbed there instead of sliding all over the place when you get hit there. And it also has the same type of technology here. You can 3D imaging where they would kind of get the perfect fit on this particular helmet. This helmet here, they also have a specific one for the quarterbacks. It's called the Matrix. And it's specifically designed in the back area here because a lot of quarterbacks, when they get sacked, you know that they go flat on their back and their head bounces off the turf. So they have those specific ones made for quarterbacks. So they're trying what they do. They're trying to make them specifically adaptable to the position that they're in.
Finally, we'll talk a little about radio helmets. The very first NFL team to use a radio helmet was the Cleveland Browns. It was in 1956. Paul Brown hired two inventors, George Sarles and John Campbell. But it was like a comedy of errors. They only used it 4 games that year, but during the testing, one of the inventors puts the helmet on, he goes walking down the street, they're seeing how far they can communicate. And he ends up with a policeman. They're on the police frequency. The first time it was used was the Akron Rubber Bowl against the Detroit Lions. Now the Detroit Lions players noticed that Paul Brown wasn't sending in plays with his messenger cards, and they spotted the transmitter next to the Browns bench. So they instructed their defensive players to rip off the quarterback's helmet. So the Lions players were ripping off poor George Ratterman's helmet, trying to see what was in there. One game, supposedly got a call from a taxi cab company. Another game, he was getting directions from the director of the halftime show. The final time was used was against the New York Giants. The Giants knew about the radio, everybody knew about it. They called the FCC and got the frequency. So they showed up to the game with their own receiver, and they had an ex-Browns player on the team. So they're intercepting Paul Brown's signals to his quarterback and translating it through that ex-Brown and sending in the correct defense. Paul Brown figures out something's wrong, does not use his radio in the second half of that game. By the end of that week, the commissioner, Bert Bell, banned the use of radio, and it wasn't legalized again until 1994. Now, Paul Brown lost every game in '56 that he used his radio helmet. Then in 2008, a player on defense can have a radio helmet, and now a special teams player can wear a radio helmet. If you're watching on TV, that's what the green dot means. The NFL controls the frequencies. They periodically assign a new frequency to teams. They use some military combination of encrypted codes. There's millions of them. As soon as the play clock's turned on, transmission to the radio helmet is turned on. With 15 seconds left on the play clock, transmission to the helmet is shut down. So it's those last 15 seconds that they'll do an audible and change their play. Okay. If you have a radio helmet assigned to you, your name is given to the referee before the game starts. Now that's your helmet for the game. You can't give it to anyone else. Now, some players, like Cordell Stewart, played quarterback, wide receiver, he played everything. So he had 2 helmets, but he was the only one allowed to wear a radio helmet that game. When he wasn't playing quarterback, he did not wear his radio helmet. An NFL player can wear whatever helmet he wants. The team doesn't tell him. He picks his helmet out. The NFL required a helmet as of 1943. College required a helmet as of 1939. Now we have, I want to take another break. At 11 o'clock, we got a trunk full of unusual artifacts from our archives. Just some fun things that we talk about, pass around before we look at. And we do try to keep it about 15 minutes. This one ended up closer to 20. But thank you very much for coming. You stick around until you see all the helmets. Otherwise, appreciate your coming today and visiting us. Thank you. Thank you. Get up. Find your way back.
No matter what name you put on it, no matter what team you put on it, it's still a baseball cap.
All right. Do you want me to have the museum in the background?
Yeah, that's fine. We can go that way.
Okay.
Hey everybody, so we went inside. We saw a lot of good stuff, a lot of great stuff. We're here on the back side. We're on the artificial turf field on the back side of the museum. As you can see here, this probably looks like where they're going to be doing the induction in here for the Hall of Fame, for the Football Hall of Fame. This is the actual Hall of Fame, and behind that is the stadium. It was a good tour. I couldn't ask for anything better. People were talkative, asked them questions, they helped you out. As we say here on Who's On First, keep swinging, but I can't keep swinging because I'm hungry. So we're gonna go get some food. You're not coming with me on that one. Love you guys, keep swinging.
If you like the show, please do me a favor, subscribe, right, you see it? It's right there. Subscribe, share, like, and don't forget, put that bell on. It'll ding you when I put something else on, all right?